All right, it's okay. Good morning, everybody. So today we're going to continue our project planning, and as another warning, you need to be logging all of your time. So when you go to a job, there's a time clock, and you punch your time clock, and even if you work a whole day, if you don't punch in and out, you're not going to get paid. So at school, your grade is your pay, so you don't punch in, you're not going to get credit. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a task that we can use to clock our planning for today. So we're going to start by clicking our new task. I'm just going to call this project planning, and this is an actual action that we'll be doing, a task. And we'll begin this task today, and hopefully we'll have it done by Wednesday. And then we're going to skip everything else here for the moment. So I'm just going to hit Save Task here, and I'm ready to begin doing this. So I'm going to click on I'm on it. And when I do that correctly, now we have our little clock in our upper right-hand corner here. It's letting me know that we're now working on project planning. So whenever you are sitting at your computer, you should see this little clock running. Otherwise, you are not getting credit for today. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to start breaking up our project into our deliverables and tasks. So the method I like to do is first sort of brainstorm all the possible deliverables that I'll be creating for my project. As a reminder, deliverables are actual things, nouns typically, tangible objects, or at least something that you can show that is as a result of the fruits of your labor. So your labor is actions, the actual work that we're doing, those we call tasks. So it's after completion of so many tasks, you will then complete your deliverable and actually have something to show for your work. So everybody is going to have one deliverable that's going to be the same, and that's to create a presentation. So during finals, each of you will come up at the front of the classroom and give a presentation on your project. So you need to create your presentation, and that presentation is our deliverable. So again, I'm going to click on New Task. Oops, okay, New Task. Our tracker is going to be deliverable, and we're going to do presentation. And then whatever, if you guys have a preference of what presentation software you prefer to use, but on the computer up here I have PowerPoint. So I'm going to put PowerPoint presentation to discuss project in front of the class. So my description here, I just want you to write a little bit more about it, so when I read it, I'll understand exactly what this deliverable is. So again, tracker is deliverable. Assignee will usually be yourself. If you are working in groups, both of you are going to actually have to present individually. So you still have to make individual presentations. So create two different tasks and then assign them to each user. And the target milestone, I've punched in two different milestones. It looks like our final week's going to be a bit awkward, but if you're a senior, you'll be presenting on the day of seniors, and if you're a non-senior, you'll be presenting on the day of non-seniors. So that's going to be your project milestone, which is just automatically going to manage some dates and stuff for you. So that is the presentation deliverable that we have set up. So I'm just going to save this as a deliverable. And now think about your project, and then what you're supposed to do now is just kind of brainstorm every possible deliverable that you're going to have to create and kind of break it up in logical phases. So say you're designing a jet aircraft or something, your CAD file is going to be a deliverable, and then your renderings of that may be another deliverable. If there's certain things you think are really complex, maybe you break up those deliverables into kind of sub-deliverables. So have maybe your wings might be a deliverable, or fuselage. You kind of break it up into smaller things if needed. So once you have all your deliverables in, then it's time to break up those deliverables into the tasks that are going to be necessary to actually complete those deliverables. So now we will create a task. So we hit New Task. And here for Tracker, instead of deliverable, we're going to change that to Task. And one of my tasks for my presentation is going to be to create my title slide. So the first part of my presentation will be to create my title slide. Again, I'll be assigning that to myself. And then the milestone will be the same as my deliverable. And then since this task is associated with my deliverable, I'm going to click on my presentation and then click on Assign Selected. So this is letting me know that the presentation is the parent task of this. So I'm creating this slide in order to create my presentation. I did that kind of fast. Did everyone catch that? Yeah. Okay, good. And then your start date and due date, you'll notice it already filled in my due date, and that's because it pulled it from my milestone. So obviously I need to have my title slide task completed prior to delivering my presentation in front of the class. So it's predicted that as my due date, but my title slide actually is going to be kind of the first thing I'm going to produce in my presentation. So I'm actually going to probably do that a few days ahead of time. So I'm going to start this on the 26th, and I'm also going to anticipate finishing it on the 26th. So I'm hoping that this is only going to take me a day to do. So everybody should be entering in a task at this point. All right, now our next thing is we need to estimate how much time this is going to take. And this is where a lot of people who, since you've never done this before, it's understandable that you really don't have a solid idea of how long it's going to take. So we're actually going to use a well-known method for time estimation called the 3-point method. And what you need to do is fill out 3 items, and then we'll punch that into a formula, and the formula is going to give us an estimated time. And what this is going to do is allow us to give some predictions based on either our previous experience or just best guess of how long these things are going to take, and kind of account for best case, worst case scenario. But then it's going to have most of our focus or weight is going to be placed on what we probably think that it's going to take. So you'll notice underneath our estimated time, we have a field here for estimated time calculation. So first is minimum time. So I'm going to think about what's the absolute minimum length of time that this task is going to take. So if absolutely everything goes perfectly, I am totally inspired and have a complete lack of writer's block. I know exactly how to use the software and my computer equipment functions correctly, then I think I can probably get this title slide done in 5 minutes. So I'm going to put 5 minutes here. Actually, I take that back. I'm going to put 0.1, because this is going to be 1/10 of an hour. So I'm going to say 6 minutes. Did I calculate that right? Okay. So everything goes right. This is going to take me 1/10 of an hour. The maximum time, so I'm not, my computer crashes, erases all my work. I need to start over on a different computer. I really have no idea what I'm doing, and I want to maybe do some research on the internet to find some good pictures for it, and I really don't know how long that's going to take. So worst case scenario is it's going to take an hour and a half for me to do this. I'm going to put 1.5. And then our probable time, thinking, all right, realistically, if I were a betting man, what would I bet on my, the amount of time this task taking? I could probably get it done in a half hour. I do a good job within a half hour. So I'm going to put 0.5. Okay, so now that we have those three, our minimum estimated time, maximum time, and probable time, we're now going to punch this into a formula, and I put the formula underneath here for you. It's your minimum time plus your maximum time plus 4 times your probable time, all divided by 6. So our minimum time is 0.1 plus maximum time 1.5 plus 4 times 0.5. Kind of some very rough mathematical notation there. Is everyone with me so far? Excellent. So simplifying that, what does that look like? 2, 3, 3.5, 3.6. So now I'm going to open up my calculator. We'll go 3.6 divided by 6, and it comes up with 0.6. So I'm going to take that 0.6, and I'm going to punch that here into my estimated time, 0.6. So what I want to see in every single task that you punch in is this formula right in this box. So I want your 3 estimates here. I want this formula. I want it calculated correctly. And then whatever your end calculation is, that needs to be punched in on your estimated time. So 3-point time, all those elements will also be most likely on your final exam as well. So important to know. And the only other thing is I'd like a little bit of information on each task of what it is. So my create tile slide is going to have name, maybe a theme, and then I'm also going to include a render of project. And then maybe class date. So just kind of some ideas of what we're going to do to complete this task. Okay, now I'm going to save this task. So that's deliverables, tasks, calculations. Now, if you have a task and that task is going to take longer than a day to complete, I want you to break it up into subtasks. So if you have a task and the task is draw 3D robot, that's going to take you more than 1 class period to do. That's probably going to take you 10 class periods to do. So I want you to break that up into subtasks. So design your robot can be your main task. Subtask is going to be design head, design arms, design body, design legs, design feet, design shield, or whatever else there is. So you're going to break it up, and then if you think certain things are going to take even longer than that, and it's going to, I want the head to look pretty realistic, helmet and everything, and goggles or whatever. So you're going to break that into subtasks as well. So you can certainly take a subtask, then break that into subtasks. The way we create those subtasks is we're just going to I'm going to say, create mouth. The mouth is a subtask of creating the head. The head is a subtask of creating the body. And the body is the task of the deliverable, which is the CAD drawing of robot. So you need to be completing tasks every day. Okay, the last thing is to create dependencies. So I don't think we've talked about dependencies yet, but a lot of your tasks are going to require certain things to be completed before you can perform them. So an example will be, let's say I want to have a 3D rendering of my project on my cover page, so I'm not going to be able to complete my cover page product until I've already completed the task of creating that 3D render, or deliverable in that case. So what I'm going to do here is for create title slide, I'm going to click more, and I'm going to put add related task. So more and then add related task. So I click on that, and you'll notice when you click on it, all it does is pop up a little extra window here at the bottom. And we can see here it says related tasks, and I can say this task, and then there's a whole bunch of different options here, and they're pretty self-explanatory. But for this task, I'm going to put follows, meaning that I cannot begin this task until I've completed another task. And then when you click on the task field here, it's going to pull up your project. You can either search if you have a lot of tasks, you can search for it. Or here I have a task that I've already entered in, which is render photorealistic picture of my project. So I'm just going to click on that, and if there's any others, I can click those as well, but this one will just be that one task. I hit assign selected, and then if there's a certain element of time that needs to take place before the task can begin, you'd punch that in here, but pretty much it's always going to be 0 for this class because there's no need to wait to begin a task after another task is completed. So for your delay, we'll always hit 0 days there. So I'm just going to click add, and now we have my task here, and you can see it says related tasks, and underneath that it says render photorealistic picture of helicopter. So I can't create my title slide until this task is complete. And I can add more tasks if that's the case, just by repeating that process. And I can tell this has been done correctly because if I go to my Gantt chart now and I look, you can see here I have photorealistic picture of helicopter, and then there's this little arrow that goes from that and down here to my create title slide. So I know that I cannot create my title slide until this task is complete, and the software will automatically fill in my Gantt chart as needed. Okay, any questions at all on this project planning? So you're just going to go through your project. Again, just break it up. I like to begin by listing all of my deliverables first, and then I'll take each deliverable, most likely in order, go through, brainstorm all the tasks that will be involved in those, and start filling in all the relevant information for each task. Good luck. Oh, you know what? Let me show you one more thing. When you submit today's tasks, what I want you to submit for today is click on your tasks field here. So by the end of the day, you should have a number of deliverables and tasks. What I want you to do here is just click on this PDF icon in the lower right-hand corner here. When you click on that, it's going to generate a PDF of all of your tasks. This is what I want you to submit for today. And that you'll submit into School Loop. Okay, happy planning.